to what has to be described, really, as a rather tense studio.
It's not the studio that's tense, it's me. Look at that.
Shaking.
Yeah, well, I'm putting that one on, but that's real, look.
The reason why we are both quite nervous is because in this week's challenge, we had to design a piece of future technology.
Yeah, and it's going to be judged by a fashion designer who's round the corner right now, waiting for us. One of the most respected designers in Britain, MBE nonetheless, Wayne Hemingway.
Yes, are you ready?
No,
We've
I'm
got
not.
to go.
I'm actually genuinely nervous.
OK, so am I, but we've got to go right now.
The day of reckoning had arrived, and in a few moments we'd have to put our tech to the test in a fashion show at House of Fraser.
Thank you very much.
On a catwalk, surrounded by fashion fans, our creations will be judged by legendary designer Wayne Hemingway, the man behind award-winning label Red or Dead. He's also designed all kinds of gadgets, but he's notoriously hard to please, and his ideas of what makes good wearable tech were exacting, to say the least.
Is it going to make my life better? Is it going to stop me having to carry this heavy bag? Is it going to stop me having to break my shoulder with a big laptop battery? You know, is it going to help me not to carry a GPS to find my way around? You know, that's the kind of stuff that I want.
Backstage, the tension was rising as we geared ourselves up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Susie Perry and her MP3 shoes.
I stepped onto the catwalk with my gesture control heels, transmitting wirelessly to my MP3 player. Position switches within them allow you to skip through tracks by moving your foot left or right. A micro switch at the front pauses or plays a track, and as I neared the end of the catwalk, I tapped my toes together to nudge up the volume. Next, I wanted to pause the music, but in my nervousness, it took me 4 goes to get it right. Finally, I got it.
I did that. So these are my MP3 shoes, and the idea is, I just love the whole idea of gesture-related gaming, the kind of concept of the Wii and not having to press buttons all the time. So I thought I'd take that idea and put them into a pair of shoes using technology, being able to control your MP3 player by dancing.
I could imagine Justin Timberlake being able to control their shoe MP3 player, but you know, could you do it? You know, is it ever going to happen?
And lots of manufacturers are looking at completely different ways of controlling technology. They've been talking about wearable tech for a long, long time now, but we're starting to see wearable tech now on the high street in ski jackets with MP3 buttons and Bluetooth and all that sort of thing. And I think it's only a matter of time before it does go into things like shoes. I think, you know, subtle movements could be a thing of the future.
I think we will have some kind of decent market for wearable technology on your footwear, but I think, first of all, it'll come from footwear that actually generates power. So, you know, that kinetic energy idea, that you're generating electricity from every step that you take, then that could power your MP3, that could power your phone, and then after we've got all that sorted out, then to start about the fun things like you're talking about now.
So, Wayne had given me and my shoes a right going over, but I reckoned I'd held my own. He was right about generating power, and given more time, I would have incorporated that into my shoes. But for now, I was happy with what I'd achieved, even if I did leave the stage feeling slightly shell-shocked after Wayne's grilling.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jason Bradbury and his cyber jacket.
As I hit the catwalk and threw some wicked shapes in my computer jacket, I may have looked the picture of confidence, but having seen how Wayne had laid into Susie, I was bricking it.
Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Oh, hi, Wayne.
I do.
This is my smart jacket, OK? And I don't mean smart in a conventional sense. I'm talking intelligent. In the small of my back is a computer, fully functioning computer. The monitor that you'd normally use to see what the computer is showing you has been replaced by the projector on my shoulder. And this material here, the white leather, functions as a screen. When I move this sleeve here, there's a chip to this beating heart point. Can you hear that? There's a little audio feedback. That's the computer recognising that I'm giving it a command. And on comes the music. Can you hear that? It's also got a GPS tracker built into the jacket. Always knows where it is, which I think is quite funky, and I can actually map myself via satellite. This is a vision of the future for wearable technology that I sincerely believe that in the next 10 or 20 years will actually be as normal as mobile phones. Not for everybody, but for a significant proportion of the population.
That's as maybe. But I don't wear a jacket for part of the year. To me, it's adding something I don't want on my body. I don't want something attached to my finger. I don't want a heavier jacket. You know, I know this is a prototype and I know things will get lighter, but I don't want all of that, and I want things simple. And I also don't, you know, there are lots of us who don't want to look futuristic. You know, you end up looking like some mad German techno freak.
What are you trying to say? That's
come off a catwalk. You know, some of us like the idea of Savile Row, and so I'm not discounting it. But at the moment, you know, I can't. For me, that's like hell.
Let's face it, Wayne didn't like my jacket. But remember, it was a prototype, a concept, and I was still convinced that my creation really was a glimpse of how wearable tech will develop in the future.
Having presented our future tech to our judge, it was crunch time. Now the uncompromising Wayne had to decide which he thought was the best.
I've got to choose a winner, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have thought long and hard, and I'm going to go with... Susie's MP3 player. Shoes. Oh. Because there's something in them that could be transferred to technology that could be useful, I think. And I think your feet are an underused resource. And secondly, because her pins look pretty good in them.
They do look spectacular. Although you're not seeing my little hairy
and
monsters.
I don't want to.
Sorry.
Right, okay. Oh. Isn't it bad enough to lose? I've now got to be humiliated.
You love it.
Do you know what, though? You've got a fine pair of pins. Wayne got that right, at least.
Thank you very much. I love your jacket, though.
Thank you, darling. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm loving the shoes. But what do you think? The debate will rage on at 5.tv/Gadget Show. Which of these two futuristic wearable pieces of tech do you think should have won in today's show?
Well, that's all we've got time for on today's show, but don't get reaching for that remote because it's flash forward next in just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, in fact, there was probably something on the bottom of the screen round about here telling you just that right now.
Yeah, probably.
See you next time.
See you.
Next time on The Gadget Show.
We're going to save you money by showing you how to get the best tech without busting your bank account.
John tests budget cameras at a huge party.
Pressure's on.
I test budget laptops with two very funny men.
Do your worst, monkey boy.
I try to make budget camcorders pay for themselves, and Otis and Dom Littlewood go in search of the best cheap TVs around.
It's a credit-crunching, money-saving, tech-tastic Gadget Fest. And be warned, we could also show you how to make hundreds of quid from your gadgets. All that's next week, but right now, before the credits roll, remember to enter this week's incredible competition. We're giving away every single piece of tech that you can see flying around the screen right now. And remember, some of it is stuff you can't even buy yet. We'll be getting hold of the best new tech over the next 6 months and getting it to you as soon as possible after launch. It's a prize fund worth just under £16,000. And to win with a chance of winning the lot, you'll need to know the answer to